Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Rodney Glover. I am the candidate for governor of Florida, but I always get asked, why governor? Why didn't you do something else before you tried to get the highest seat? Why governor? Why governor? Let me just get this out the way. And I'm going to be very clear about this. I'm not cutting any corners, and you should not either. The governor has power. It's under statute 112.51. It's super unchecked. Let me just read to you what it is. The governor's extraordinary power to suspend and remove any elected or appointed municipal officer, that's mayors, city council members, county commissioners, based on vague grounds such as malfeasance, misfeasance, neglect of duty, or incompetence. Documents current governor's repeated threats to remove local officials who disagree with his policies on immigration enforcement and other issues create a chilling effect on local democracy. What you need to understand is, I was smart enough to understand that you don't go into a job knowing that that person has that much leverage on you. That if you don't do what they tell you to do, that they can just remove you. Because it doesn't say that they need to go to the citizens who elected you to tell them that they want to start a process to remove you. It says that the governor can just move you out of that seat. If I'm fighting for you to have more power over elected officials, I guarantee you, if I'm not governor, someone's going to remove me from that seat and they don't have to ask the people who put me there. So I'm not going to go for a seat that I know for a fact has that much leverage over my life, because the people who run for these offices, if they're not planning on robbing you blind, then that's their job. They're having to support their families. Do you see that they put themselves on the chopping block? But they have to support their families. Do you understand that people, when they have that much pressure on them, they're caving in? I'm not putting myself in the position that you have to worry about whether or not I cave in. That's why I don't take money. That's why I didn't choose a lower office, because I learned the rules. Now, all these people who tell you they're going to do all of this stuff, do they know that the governor can remove them from that seat based on what they say? When you don't see them say something, now you know why. Because let you mess around and the governor hears you. Now, I want to change that law. I want that rule to say, hey, that if I find out, that you've done something that means that we need to recall you and fire you from this office, that I have to go to those people, go to your county who elected you, and tell them that I'm starting this process, but that process won't be completed unless the people agree to what we found and can prove, because that's important. That's making sure that I always keep you inclusive in everything that happens. That's ensuring that the system doesn't allow for me to misuse power just because I'm human and I may have a character defect. I may need to weigh in or have you weigh in on something because I may take something personal. And I don't need to have that type of power knowing that I could take something personal. So we make sure that the rules in the system that's in place is there to help govern those weaknesses that we all have, that we need to be clear about. So that's why I decided to run for governor of Florida and not any of these other positions that refuse to come out and say that, hey, I want to run for this office, but I can't get the governor to change this rule to say that if I am found to have done something wrong, that he needs to talk to the same people who put me in office. And it's been that way for a while, ladies and gentlemen. So I don't think it's going to change anytime soon unless we change who's at the top. That's why I'm here to not only change who's at the top, but change the rules and put them in favor of you. So I hope that you understand now and that you're able to answer this question when people are asking you, well, your candidate has never done X, Y, and Z. It's because he doesn't walk into danger. He doesn't walk into something that he knows he has no power to do anything about. He's asking us to understand that portion and then get behind the changes necessary. We're always paying attention to what's going on. We're always going into these situations prepared with a healthy understanding. There will be things that we cannot plan for, that we will be ready for. But the things that I know for a fact, if I don't have anything available To thwart that, I better come in, I better make sure I have a really good plan. And I showed up with a really good plan. And my plan is on my website, glover2026.com. You just go there, you check it out, you give me an opportunity. You give me an opportunity to change these rules and to give us a chance at a better future. But if you're ever concerned, anyone's ever concerned about how come I didn't choose a lesser office, start asking those people why they took an office and never told us that there was so much leverage over their heads. And it's not an excuse. You need to start looking at them and saying, hey, why didn't you go in there ready for battle? You went in there already conceded. Have a great day.